State Championship football today on the Action Arena. In North Jersey, Section 2, Group 1, the championship between our number 5 rated Brearley Bears and the number 4 Roselle Park Panthers. Today's game is brought to you by Montclair Bloomfield Ford, your key to better value. By the Westwood, the new kid on the block with 24 years experience. By Riverside Savings, serving New Jersey and the nation for 100 years. And by Jersey City State College. Experience cooperative education at Jersey City State College. From Hermshaw Field in Roselle Park, this is a rematch of a game played 12 months ago. The North Jersey Section 2 Group 1 championship game between the Brearley Bears and the Roselle Park Panthers. Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Spahala. Sit back and enjoy what probably will be one of the most exciting football games of the 19 state championships played in New Jersey today. Working with me, a gentleman who won his share of state championships while coaching at Glen Ridge High School, Bill Horry. And Bill, we welcome you back from your operation. We think you're looking good, and we're glad you're here for what should be a great football game.
Thank you, Paul. I feel well, and I'm looking forward to, just as you indicated, a great football game.
Bill, you coached many state champions in your years at Glen Ridge, including in the playoffs. Is there any need for the coach to say anything to the players in the locker room to get them psyched up for this game? Pretty much the game should do it itself.
You know, I've thought about that. I've tried to rehash my game experience, my championship game experience, and I don't remember telling them anything special prior to this game. I do remember whatever it is I told them going into our game must have been the wrong thing because we were down 12-0 at halftime.
The Brearley Bears have enjoyed great success in the state football playoffs. This is what they've done. In 1977, they lost to a Glen Ridge team in the Group 1 final, coached by Bill Horry. But in 1981, the Bears came back and they beat the Roselle Rams in the Group 1 final. Last season, they defeated Roselle Park in the Group 1 final. So as you see, they were on what they called the 4-year plan under Bob Taylor. Taylor had won or had been in the final in 77, 81, and 85. He broke that string, and he's happy about breaking that by being back. Bill, Brearley has enjoyed great success in the playoffs, 4 times in the playoffs, and now 4 times at least reaching the final. And that has to be a big confidence factor for the Bears coming into today's game.
No question about it, Paul. And I think what you have to do is give credit where credit's due. That credit, that person that's done most of the work at Brearley has been Bob Taylor. He's a 12-month coach. He works at it just about every waking hour, and to him deserves the credit. He's done quite a bit of it.
On the other hand, the Roselle Park Panthers have also enjoyed playoff success. In 1979, they were the only team to qualify for the playoffs and thus were the Group 1 champs with no playoff necessary. In 1980, only 2 teams qualified, Roselle Park and Glen Ridge winning that game, the Group 1 final. Roselle Park then next made the playoffs in 1984, losing a 30-22 decision in the opening round to Chatham Borough. And as we mentioned, last year, Roselle Park a loser in the final to the Brearley Bears. We mentioned Bob Taylor. Let's also give credit to John Wagner, now in his 6th season at Roselle Park, and he has certainly brought this program around to where the point where they have been in the playoffs now 3 consecutive years.
Yes, John Taylor's done a remarkable job in a short period. You know, he's followed some great coaches here at Roselle Park, and most certainly he's a credit to all those past coaches. Now, they've got an axe to grind. Roselle Park has for this game. You know, they were pretty well beaten last year by this very same Brearley team.
Well, they took a somewhat of a measure of revenge earlier in the season. Roselle Park defeated Brearley 10-7 in a game you saw on TV3 earlier this year. And if you saw that game, you know that these are 2 teams that will keep it on the ground. 2 different type offenses, but both running offenses.
Yes, and when you speak to coaches and you ask them what they've done in preparation for this game, they say, well, you know, we've done the very same thing we've done to get us here, but that isn't quite so. I know that isn't quite so. They've added a wrinkle here and taken a little bit away, and they've made changes. They're bright young men, and they're going to do whatever they can it takes to win this game.
Mike Chelensky is a super runner for the Brearley Bears. He could, if he has a good game, do a lot of damage.
Mike Chelensky could be a deciding factor. Mike Chelensky is about 6'4", he's about 225, and he runs very hard. If he can get that 5 and 6 yards on first down, if he can keep those cornerbacks and those linebackers in tight every time he runs the ball, I wouldn't be surprised to see Brearley go on top, you know, throw the ball and be successful.
One of those linebackers who will be coming after Chelensky is also in the Roselle Park backfield, Gene Mirabella. He could also have a lot to say about today's outcome.
Also a great back. Gene's about 2'5", 210. He's about 5'11". He's strong. He can run inside. He's an ideal back for the kind of offense that they run at Roselle Park, the Delaware wing T. He can run hard inside. He can give you tough yards, and yet he's quick enough to get to the outside and break the long one.
And if it comes down to the kicking game, as it did for both these teams in the opening round of the playoffs, a pair of good ones, Mike Vergara for Brearley, Mike Small for Roselle Park. There's not much more we can build up this one. It should be a tremendous football game. Who knows how long it will go? We might be headed for overtime, but that's just a guess right now. In a moment, we'll have the opening kickoff for the North Jersey Section 2 Group 1 final, the Bears and the Panthers.
Take your ambition and put it to work. Get job experience while you earn your degree.
My co-op experience helped me prepare for my job at Tushaw. I interned at the IRS and was hired through my internship. Then I scored high on the CPA exam. Now I've joined Tushaw.
Launch your career at Jersey City State College.
Co-op, the power to change your tomorrow.
Looking for the car of your dreams? Riverside's Auto Plan can help. In fact, for home mortgages, home equity, construction, and commercial loans, look to Riverside. See Riverside for checking accounts, CDs, money funds, or any other type of banking service. Even that get-away-from-it-all vacation. Look to Riverside for all your banking needs. Now you know why we say, we're on your side. Bank on it.
A special reception or party, plan on the newly renovated Westwood in Garwood. You'll enjoy luxurious banquet rooms, mouth-watering meals, and professional service from business meeting and seminars to elegant wedding receptions. Call the newly renovated Westwood.
We're the brand new kid on the block with 24 years experience, and I think that sets us apart.
The Westwood, North Avenue in Garwood. Convenient from the Garden State Parkway.
When you're looking for a tough truck or van, make it a new Ford from the dealer who's satisfied people like you for more than 30 years. Montclair Bloomfield Ford. You'll get a great deal on all the new streamlined Ford trucks, and Montclair Bloomfield Ford backs up their great deal with a quality care service center that'll become your key to perfect performance. Whether you're carrying passengers or cargo, your key to better value on a new truck or van is Montclair Bloomfield Ford, 15 Bloomfield Avenue, Montclair.
We are at Hermshaw Field in Roselle Park for the North Jersey Section 2 Group 1 championship game in the TV3 Top 10 rankings. Brearley is currently number 5 at 8-1-1. Roselle Park is number 4. The Panthers under John Wagner are 9-1. Bob Taylor across the way. Both coaches, both teams as prepared as they can be for this championship game. And Bill Horry, one of those intangible factors that may come into play today is the fact that neither team has won something this year. And by that, I mean that neither team won their conference, that being the Valley Division of the Mountain Valley Conference. New Providence was actually the conference champions. New Providence knocked out in the first round by Brearley. So although successful seasons for both teams, there's no championship yet to put on the back of that varsity jacket, and each club would like to claim a championship today, and indeed one of them will.
Paul, conference championships are great. You know, everyone likes to win a conference championship, but, you know, the big thing is the state championship. That's number one, and that's what kids, I think, are proudest of.
Both captains, both teams being talked to by the officials. There is a stiff wind blowing from the near side of the field to the far side of the field. And you can see the effect it's having on the American flag, which is at the northern end of the field. But in reality, it shouldn't have all that much to do with today's game, since it is a crosswind. As you see, Roselle Park will receive the opening kickoff. Al Del Vento is our referee today. Charles Watson is his umpire. Bill Ditkus is the headlinesman. Cornelius Brown, the field judge. Lloyd Bailey, the back judge. And Bill Brand is the clock operator for today's North 2 Group 1 State Championship.
And Paul, these kids are pumped up. They've been pumped up all week, and this is it. You know, this is a big game. What happens in this very first few minutes could be very important.
Both teams have brought quite a number of fans to Herm Shaw Field today, and there's no surprise in that. Kenilworth is barely a 2-minute ride away from Roselle Park. Phil Carpenter going back to receive for Roselle Park. Mike Vigura will do the kicking for the Bears. For the start of this state championship game, Vigura with the field goal that propelled Brearley into the finals. There you see Jeff Horowitz in front of us. Number 36 behind him is Phil Carpenter, set to receive Vigura's kick.
These teams know each other so well, Paul. These kids know each other so well.
And the North 2 Group 1 final is underway. It will be a short kick. It will be fielded up by Chris Tokarski, and he will get out to the 25-yard line. Offensively, Roselle Park looks this way. Joe Sweeto is up front along with Mike Heller, John Popovich, the center, Dave Hartzler, and Eric Lonecker. The two ends are Mike Small, the split end, and Mike Midichone, the tight end. In the backfield, we have Phil Carpenter, Dennis McCaffrey as the fullback, and Gene Mirabella. And the quarterback is John Cunningham. Cunningham, a 5'8" junior. First play of the ball game comes to the near side. The runner slips and falls. That was Carpenter for a loss of 1. Defensively, Brearley has 5 up front. Scott Miller, Brett Hubbinger, Pat Olenek, the nose guard, Rob Cannerman and Tom Ramos on the right side. The linebackers are Mike McCoy, Rich Lyons, who basically can play anywhere, and Mike Chelensky. And 3 deep for the Bears are Mike Ramos, Ken Kinney, and Joe Capizano.
Field's a little slippery, just a little slick, Paul. That may be the reason for the slide on that first play.
Mirabella going right, might have gotten to the 25. Cunningham on the season, 10 of 28 in the air. The Panthers don't throw much, but he has tossed 175 yards worth.
Both these coaches, I believe, have played close for a while. They want to be sure they don't make any costly mistakes. The 2 plays that we've just seen Roselle Park run are the kind of stuff that they've been running all year.
Mirabella did pick up a yard, so it's 3rd and 10. Cunningham looking to throw. He had some time. He's now forced out of the pocket. He will pick up maybe 4 yards along the right sideline, but on 4th and about 6, it will be time for the Panthers to punt it away.
Both of these teams, Paul, play such tough defense that they don't want to give anything away. And he didn't see anybody free. The defense had done a good job of covering his receivers, and he wisely tucked the ball up and got what he could.
Carpenter will
too early to gamble.
Carpenter will punt for the Panthers. There you see Capizano on the near side. On the far side, Mike Ramos getting set to receive for Brearley. Good kick by Carpenter. Ramos will field it at his own 40. And he'll take it into Roselle Park territory. And the Bears will start at the 46. Up front, Brearley has Canterman, followed on the left side by Dom Pasquarelli, Mike McCoy, the center, Elio Siragusa, the right guard, Brett Hubbinger, the right tackle. The 3 backs, the 3 ends are Randy Callancy, Pete Kariakaitis, and Scott Miller. Norris and Chelensky are in the backfield, and Gary Foucher is the quarterback. From the 46 of Roselle Park. It is Foucher taking it ahead for about 4 yards. Defensively, Roselle Park shows the 5-man front of Mike Middachone, Joel Lowati, Eric Lonecker, Mike Heller, and Rich Miranda. The linebackers are Gene Mirabella, Len Zenario, and Jeff Horowitz. And the 3 deep are Bill Carpenter, Dennis McCaffrey, and Mike Small is the safety.
Roselle Park on that first play, Paul, rotated the nose guard over a man to the strong side, to the side of the flanker. And as a result, why, Foucher just kept the ball.
There's the first carry for Chelensky on the day. Foucher throws a little bit more than Cunningham, 41 attempts this year for 239 yards. But again, these are 2 ground-oriented teams.
Well, this is not a bad position to be in. It's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. And when you've got a Mike Chelensky in your backfield, you know, it's not a bad position to be in. And if they can get 4 or 5 yards, first down every time, I think Bobby Taylor will be very pleased.
3rd and 2, high formation. Norris in front of Chelensky. And it is Chelensky, left side. He does not have enough. Len Zenario hit him first. And very quickly, it appears Brearley will go on 4th and about 1.
Zenario just came back. You know, he had some surgery on his knee, and he's back in 100% shape, and he's tough up front. He's tough to run against.
Now it appears that Scott Miller has come on, and he will punt it away for the Bears. Bob Taylor making the decision to punt on 4th and short yardage. Instead, it's a fake. It goes to Chelensky. Chelensky has the first down, and finally Carpenter has to stop him. And the first trick play of the game belongs to Brearley, the fake punt for a first down.
Wise decision. I don't believe there are going to be too many points scored this game, you know, and if you're getting into this kind of a position this early in the game, why, you do everything you can to take advantage of it. The ball's on the 31-yard line now.
Norris in front of Chelensky, once again out of the eye. Chelensky does not have it. Instead, it's a pass left side. Intended for Mike Ramos.
That's one of the things that Brearley had been practicing this week, you know, getting respect for Chelensky, and most certainly he did get respect when he hit up in there. The pass was just a little overthrown. The receiver was open. The call was a good call, just a little problem with the execution. If the call's a good one, I think they'll get back to it. Anytime you have to bring linebackers up, cornerbacks up to tackle tailbacks, see, it presents a passing problem.
2nd and 10, pitch back to Chelensky. Tries to stiff arm Heller, forced his way outside. And Chelensky will make about 5 yards on the play. And he just showed a lot of strength there, stiff-arming the defense. Chelensky coming into today's game, 915 yards, 10 touchdowns to lead the Brearley offense. Watch his strength on this stiff arm. Chelensky fighting his way outside.
One of the things you can't do with a fella that big and that strong is try to hit him around the chest, you know. You got to get down there around his knees or even lower, you know, and drive through him. You hit him in the chest, well, he'll just shake you off, go right through you.
Chelensky again breaks through the middle. He's into the secondary, and Chelensky has a first down and more. He's down to about the 12.
Well, that's what they expect. That's what they intend to do. As long as they can give him that kind of running room inside, he's going to be tough.
It's a good block from Norris. And it's only Small who has to take him on. Small at 5'9", 160, bringing down the 6'4", 225 Chelensky.
That's a mismatch.
Chelensky breaks it again into the secondary, and again it is Small who has to stop him, this time just inside the 3.
You know, one of the things that Brearley had been noted for was the effectiveness of their veer offense. Now they're out of the veer. They're running an eye. They've wisely put Chelinski as the last man in the eye, and he's making good use of his personnel.
There you can see Small decides to tackle him low. It is a first down, first and goal for the Bears. Chelinski already with 6 carries. From the 3, Foucher got about half the distance.
Foucher on a quarterback sneak for the Bears. Gained him a couple of yards on the play. Brings up a second and goal. Bear resting on the 2-yard line.
You see, what happens is, even though Roselle Park is in a 5-man front, they rotate the nose man over to the side of the flanker. And when they do that, the offensive center is uncovered. And that's when the quarterback makes his call, calls his own number.
Second and goal. Chelinski, he's in easily. And the Bears are out in front 6-0 at the 6:15 mark of the first quarter. Strong power by Chelinski.
He just dominated, Paul. He just ran over people.
Extra point by Vergura. And it's through. 6:15 left in the first quarter, and on their first possession of the afternoon, the Brearley Bears, the defending Section 2 Group 1 champs, take a 7-0 lead.
Paul, they made it look easy, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Although, remember, they did have a 4th and about 2 when they called the fake punt.
That's right.
The Panthers looking to get their hands on the ball for the second time today and get back in the football game. But Bob Taylor making the first bold decision of the day to go for the fake punt on 4th and 2. And it worked out.
Roselle's going to have to do something offensively. They're not going to be able to play that cozy defensive game anymore. They're 7 points down. It's no time to panic, but they've got to get their wheels oiled up. They've got to get going. They've got a good offense. They've got good running backs. They've just got to get them in motion. This game is far from over.
Vergura once again set to give it away. A deeper kick than his first kick forces Carpenter back to about the 11. Carpenter fights his way out to the 31.
Good run back, almost broke it. Here you see he finds a seam right up in the middle, gets a couple of good blocks right up in the middle, finds a seam, breaks that one tackle, and he could have been gone.
From the 31, 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Carpenter tries the right side for about 2. Brearley scored on a 10-play drive, 9 on the ground, 1 incomplete pass. It covered 46 yards. Chelinski scoring from the 2, and Mike Vergura added the 7th point. 7-0 Brearley. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Panthers. Carpenter.
The Bears are swarming to the ball. Just when it looks like he's going to have room to run, why 2 or 3 defenders come from the weak side. I wouldn't be surprised pretty soon now to see some sort of a cutback. See that wingback come back against the flow.
Carpenter coming out this season, 354 yards, 4 touchdowns for Phil, who only got his first real appearance in the backfield in that October 18th game against Brearley. Moved from an end position into the backfield.
Short gain on the play.
Mirabella for a couple yards. Canterman helping out on the tackle.
And 3 for the Panthers.
4th and 3, and again Roselle Park will be forced to give it away. Carpenter had come into today's game with a 34-yard average on 28 punts. And again, he gets off a fine kick. Capizano will field it at the 25. He loses the ball, and then he's covered up. And the ball is dead. There is no fumble on the play. So the Bears will start from their own 27. Some boos from the home crowd as they thought Capizano might have fumbled the football as he hit the turf.
No question about it. The ball was down, he was down. Just as soon as his knee hits the ground, as it does right here, the ball's dead.
Cholensky hit hard just as he got the handoff. Cholensky was hit by Rich Miranda.
And he come in like a pile driver, didn't he? He sealed down just as quick as you could. They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to seal down with their tackles and with their ends. Let the cornerback take the outside. Otherwise, he's going to chew him up inside. They isolate that linebacker on one blocker and Cholensky, where it's too much for him to handle.
He did pick up one, but Miranda was unblocked on the play.
Now they're going to run the veer, see?
Norris tries the middle, and Norris might have made a yard.
Speaking with Bobby Taylor, you know, he's put in the eye, but he plans on running the veer at least 50% of the time. There's an example of the veer, at least the first step in the veer. Their fine quarterback, Gary Foucher, is a threat every time they run that veer. He's got good speed. He can break the long one. That's when we get to the second and third stage of the veer, though. That was the first stage only. Now we're back in the eye.
Kiriakaitis split wide right for the Bears. Instead, the call is to Cholensky at the middle. Mike will have about 3 yards before Miranda again stops him. And this time, I don't think we'll see a fake punt.
Cholensky's going to be a problem for Roselle Park all game long. He's just so big and strong. Every time they loosen up inside, he's going to pound them for good yardage.
Speaking of big and strong, Scott Miller goes back to punt for the Bears. 6'4", 220 senior.
Excellent defensive end, too.
Off to the right side of the field. Carpenter will try to field it. He loses the handle and wisely gets a hold of the ball and drops down at the 27. Coming up on TV3, we will not have a time in next Thursday, the 11th, but on December 18th at 6:30. Join us for the Year in Review, a recap of what happened in high school sports, most specifically in 1986. Thursday the 18th at 6:30, you'll see it on TV3. Mirabella trying to run outside, and he's not going to get there.
Mirabella's about 210 pounds. He's 5'11". He's a strong guy. Before long, he's going to find some crease in that defense, and he's going to break one.
11 TDs this season for Gene Mirabella. Gene got 2 on the play. 2nd and 8.
They're going to have to do something a little different, though, to get the heat off Gene Mirabella. They're going to have to run the fullback, who's a good runner.
McCaffrey now really the lone setback. However, it is going to go to Mirabella.
Mirabella, an inside handle from Cunningham, inside the center of the center left line. Gain on a play of about.
Now here they're back in 3rd and 4th, and most teams would consider that a passing down, Paul, but I don't believe that they do at Roselle Park.
That first state championship back in 28 was won under the coaching of Herm Shaw, for whom this facility is named. 3rd and 4 for the Panthers. Cunningham looking to throw. And again, he won't get the pass off. He's covered up by Brett Hubbinger, a loss of 4. And that is the end of the first quarter of play from Hermshaw Field. The Brearley Bears lead 7-0. We'll be right back. Roselle Park trails 7-0, and they face a punting situation for the 3rd time today.
And if you were to ask John Wagner what the problem is, I'm sure he'd tell you that the only problem we're having is that we're not executing.
Carpenter gets away, another high kick, fielded by Ramos. And Ramos will get about 1 yard on the return out to the Brearley 44. Second quarter action in the North Jersey Section 2 Group 1 final. Brearley in front 7-0 on a 2-yard run by Mike Chelensky.
And Brearley in decent field position.
They've had the much better of the field possession so far in this ball game.
Now they're going to run the veer. They're in their veer setup.
Foucher coming to the near sideline. He's got Chelensky in front of him, and Foucher will get a first down, about 11 yards on the play.
There was no fake there, Paul. He just took the ball, tucked it, and ran. I believe that was designed to be run just that way.
No, he tucked it away, and it was all his call.
Yeah, a quick block out on the cornerback. He tucks inside the quarterback and takes off downfield. He's a good runner. He ran for about 90 yards, I understand. One of his last 4 games.
Had a 91-yard run from scrimmage against Dayton 2 days after Thanksgiving, and that was a school record.
He usually, you know, preempts that run with a fake handoff and possibly a fake pitch. Here he just turned the corner, got that good block in front of him, kicked out on the cornerback, blocked down on the end, and away he went.
Foucher also had one of the most important touchdowns of the season on a 4th and about 2 yards to go in overtime in one of those 10-yard situations against New Providence. Foucher went right, saw an opening, and kept it himself for the score.
He's a slippery little cuss, isn't he?
And he might be overlooked in that backfield, and that is certainly to Brearley's advantage.
Now they're back in the I formation. Look for Chelensky to get the ball, blocking straight ahead. Everybody blocking straight ahead.
Chelensky hit by Miranda, but he carries the tackler about 3 yards. Chelensky, a super performer who burst onto the scene 2 years ago as a freshman, fresh off the Pop Warner team the year before. And he was pretty much an unknown when he scored, I believe it was 4 touchdowns in his first varsity game.
He's a junior. Wasn't it nice to look forward to that fella coming back? Bobby Taylor's drooling, I know.
Second down.
And he's a good boy, too. From what I understand, he's a great kid. Makes it even better.
McCoy calls for time to have the officials wipe off the football. Does not have it. Instead, it is the fake to him. Foucher goes, but we have a flag on the play, and we do have backfield in motion.
That's the first penalty, isn't it?
First one of the game, and it will be accepted, or at least I think so.
And the reason for it was that Chelensky was so eager to get up into his block, you know. He didn't jump when he carried the ball, but here he was going to put a block on the defensive end, and he just got a little eager.
It cost Brearley 5. They're still in Roselle Park territory, just across the 50-yard line.
Against the Bears brings up a second down and 13.
I think their big yardage formation is the split backs, the veer. But nope, here they are in the I formation.
Maselli split out to the right, Mike Ramos to the left. Fake to Chelensky. Flag on the play. Foucher forced out.
Foucher fakes again to Chelensky, carries around the goal left end. Short gain on the play. Nick Jones forces him out of bounds.
And again, it is a motion penalty.
I didn't see that. I wonder if we can pick it up.
against the Bears.
Somebody may have moved on that interior line.
2 consecutive motion calls against the Brearley Bears. Penalty is declined. Foucher only got about 3 on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
This is a passing down. There's no question about it. They're in their split backs. They're going to run to Veer. Sure.
And here comes Foucher, all his. And Foucher has nothing. McCaffrey hits him. He's helped out by Heller and by Mirabella. Defensive hit coming up by McCaffrey.
He's a good football player. Fullback on offense. He's filled in the gap, I understand, very well when their regular fullback got hurt.
Miller about to punt. Slipped as he stepped forward, but gets the benefit of a good roll and a late pickup by a Roselle Park player, but the ball will be spotted at about the 21.
Dangerous thing to do.
So we've had nothing but punts in this ball game, with the exception of the one drive where Brearley scored.
Well, this isn't really the place to open up, but Roselle Park's going to have to do something to get some momentum, get some offense going. I don't believe they've got a first down running yet, or even go throwing. They haven't had a first down yet.
McCaffrey getting the call. Again, McCow. There's a flag.
Late hit.
In there late.
That's going to be a big one, too. That will be a big one.
And that will help Roselle Park get their first good field position.
Unnecessary roughness, spearing, a little over anxious. Nothing really malicious about it.
Here is the infraction coming up. There, McCaffrey is down now. There, the late hit with the helmet.
You've got to protect that runner when he's down. Fact of the matter is, you've got to protect the fellow that's doing the tackling, because he is just a precarious position when he strikes a blow with his helmet ball.
That was the first down for Roselle Park, and they get it by virtue of the penalty.
Kids have got to learn that they can't do that. They got to stop. They got to train themselves.
The give to Carpenter. Heller with a good block. Crowd reacting because Miller and Small were mixing it up at the end of the play.
I think what they were reacting to was the size of Miller and the size of Small. You know, it's like an elephant and a mouse.
Mike Small, aptly named at 5'9", but he is a big player on the field.
Right? Yes, he is. He's an important player. And Miller at about 6'6".
Rollout left. This is Scribano throwing, and he hits McCaffrey out of the backfield. Steve Scribano played a good deal of this year till an injury forced him out and Cunningham in.
Those are the only kind of passes you're going to see Roselle Park throw. Action passes, stuff that comes out of their running series. And there's a good reason for it. Their quarterback isn't a big fella. They can't drop him back, set him up and throw, you know. He can't see above those linemen, so they're going to have to roll him out or sprint him out or somehow get him to the outside where he can see his receivers.
3rd and short yardage. Mirabella tried the right side, was forced back in, and there's no gain on the play.
Well, he's about 1.5 yards away. And let's see how much time left in the quarter.
7:02.
I don't know if he's going to go for it. If he goes for it and he makes it, it's a great call. If he goes for it and he doesn't make it, why, let's all fire the coach, huh?
And it appears as if Roselle Park will go.
They're going to go for it.
4th and about 2.
They're going to go for it. They're not going to throw. I don't know why they don't gang up 9 people right up front.
Mirabella does not have the first down, but there is a flag on the play. Although as quickly as it was thrown, I think it might have been an offsides.
Legal motion.
Center of the Brearley line. Short gain on a play, however, there is a
And that's what the call is. Motion on Roselle Park.
Against the Panthers.
You see, Taylor did it, and he was a hero. And now Wagner did it, and he wasn't a hero. Depends on the execution of the play.
Just a matter of whether you make the yardage or not.
Right. Remember that giant game last week when Parsons decided to gamble? He was a hero. Had he not made it, he would have been a bum. Especially in New York.
Or New Jersey, since that's where they play.
Right.
Brearley takes over on the Roselle Park 49.
They get in here with a score, and they're going to be in great shape.
Foucher keeps it. He's got a first down and more before Small pushes him out.
You know, those Bears, they run that veer so well. It surprised me so much to see them get away from it. They run that, you know, you stop them, you stop them, you stop them, and then bingo, they break the big one.
Fake to Norris, and Foucher keeps it.
He'll keep it, and sometimes he'll pitch it out. He reads defenses. I watched him in practice. He reads defenses very well. He's the ideal boy to run the veer.
Foucher already with 6 carries today. Over 5 yards per carry. From the 34.
Right tackle moved, and then the right end, tight end moved.
Procedure will cost the Bears 5. There's the movement by the right tackle, Hubbinger.
And he's a good tackle. He can make a mistake, and he can still play on my team because he's a big, strong, good tackle. He's going to play a lot more football when he graduates from here, I believe. I've watched him a little bit.
Any number of Division I schools are looking at Brett Hubbinger.
He's playing against a good football player, and he's doing well.
Chalensky does not get it. Instead, it's the fake. Foucher keeps it. Foucher coming outside. He's got to step on the defender. And Foucher is inside the 10 before, again, Mike Small has to come over and make the tackle.
And you know who made that play? The person that made that play was Mike Chalensky. It was a great run by Foucher. But everybody look at Chalensky. Look at the attention he's getting up in there. He's got about 6 or 7 ball players just coming to bring him down because that's what they need. And when that happened, he just pulled it away and took off.
And right there, Foucher showed his speed by being able to turn the corner.
There's no question. The key to the Brearley offense is Chalensky, what he does.
Foucher, 7 carries. Nearing the 6-minute mark. Chalensky takes it down to the 1.
No secret here what they're going to do. They're going to get back in that I formation. They're going to run Chalensky again and dare you to stop him. And then the only way you're going to do that is to penetrate and be deep enough before he gets started. He gets up 3 steps and he's going to be gone. He's going to bury whoever hits him, at least for that first yard.
2nd and goal.
225 pounds, strong, fast, 225 yards at 225 pounds.
From the 1, Chalensky easily breaks the goal line, and it is 13-0. For Mike Chalensky, his 2nd touchdown of the day, his 12th of the season.
Well, everything that Bobby Taylor wanted to do for this game, he's just about done. The only thing he hasn't done is completed that one pass after the Chalensky fake.
Vergura on to attempt the point, and it is straight through. With 5:28 left in the half, the Brearley Bears now lead 14-0 in defense of their state crown.
Brearley seems to have a little more Big Mo going for him, big momentum going for him at the present time. Roselle Park's going to have to do somebody. They're going to need a hero someplace. Somebody's going to have to make a big play for Roselle Park to get them back in the game, Paul.
And you might want to leave that up to your special teams to bring in a special play.
Somebody's going to have to be a hero. We need a hero right now in order to make a good ball game of this.
14-0. Brearley in front. For the third time in the first half, Mike Vigura will kick. End over end. Carpenter from the 9. And Carpenter gets all the way out to about the 23. And Roselle Park will start from there. For better or worse, people will have to look back at that 4th and short yardage where Roselle Park elected to go.
It was a good call, Paul. I would have done the same thing myself. Anybody with a little courage would have done the very same thing. Try to get back in the ball game. That was a good call.
Mirabella then hands it inside to Carpenter, and Miller falls on him.
See, when you're ahead, when you're 2 touchdowns ahead, you can sit back and wait. When you're behind, that's when you've got to pursue a little hard. Then that's where you get vulnerable to the traps, and down blocks and things like that. But did you notice that linebacker and that tackle, number 76, Hubinger, just sitting there waiting for the play to develop? There's no sense chasing a play. They don't need to be heroes. They just need to prevent the first down.
Scribano roll out left. For Middachone. Scribano will keep it, and he's run down by Cholensky.
Cholensky made a good tackle that time, because had he not made that tackle, he most certainly would have had the first down and maybe some more yardage.
Steve Scribano on the keeper.
Cholensky got kicked in the left hand. He's trying to shake it off. He doesn't want the coach to know about it. I guess it was his right hand.
I think you're correct. As Scribano fell on him, he fell right across his left forearm.
Left forearm. He'll forget about that.
3rd down. Scribano again looking. Goes across the middle, tipped up, and almost intercepted, but it falls harmlessly incomplete. The ball tipped away.
Good pass defense.
Mike McCoy.
A nice deep zone, and they were in the right position. Linebacker was in the right position.
McCoy tips it up, and then the free ball goes to no one. Carpenter trying to make his 4th punt of the day, averaging over 31 yards. 3:43 left in the half, and Brearley will get the ball back one more time. Miss kick, end over end, fielded by Tokarski for Roselle Park, and he'll down it at the 45. Only 2 possessions today for Brearley have started in their own territory. The other 3 have started in Panther territory. And that has been a big story in this ballgame.
Now they're in their twin backfield, and they're going to run the veer. There's the first part of the veer. They give it to the wingback coming around, but the fellow that was supposed to be doing the trapping never got to the man he wanted to trap, never got to the tackle.
Capizano loses 1. Middachone with the tackle.
Left guard never got out.
There's the fake and the give.
It feels a little sloppy in there. It must be tough on those guards who like to do a little pulling and trapping to get out and make their play. Now they're back in the I formation. He seems to have more luck with the I than he's had with the veer.
Cholensky
there he goes.
Breaks into the secondary and finally is just tripped up by McCaffrey. But a first down for the Bears, virtually assuring them of holding on to the football till the half.
Another score at this particular time, and that may be all she wrote.
Chelensky just barely caught at the ankles. 14 carries today for Mike, approaching the 100-yard mark even here in the first half. And he'll get another call. This time not much, as Horowitz comes up.
Horowitz made the right play. He hit him right about at the knees or below the knees. You know, he didn't try to take him on up at his chest or up at his thigh. See the contact that Horowitz makes right where he has to go down, right down low. See it? Right at the knees. You got to avoid that chest and the shoulders of that fella, because when he dips his shoulders, it has a 225 pounds projecting at you.
We talked about Small listed at 5'9", Horowitz listed at 5'5". Chelensky looking to throw for Kariakaitis, and it's knocked away.
That's something new.
Well, Chelensky's thrown 5 passes, well, now 6 on the season. He's completed 2.
Well, he carries the ball so effectively that everything he does, you know, has a bearing on the game. And when the play starts, everybody's looking at Chelensky. What is he going to be doing?
Chelensky attracts a crowd regardless of what he's doing.
Twin backs.
Roll out right. Coucher's going to keep. Miranda stops him. Miranda's played a good game defensively.
They're in 4th down territory now, Paul. They're going to go for it, I'm pretty sure. They're up around the 25, 27-yard line.
Straight run for Foucher. No mystery there. He tucked it away.
They get one more first down, and they're in position to kick a field goal.
That was only 1:09 left in the half. So if they make it, they will probably run out the half. Looking for the quick toss, and it is complete to Miller. Inside the 20.
Happens to be a very big play, because now they are in field goal range.
Exactly. Now not only can they run out the half,
and they've got their timeouts left. I don't believe that was this is their first timeout.
Quick across to Miller. Not only can Brearley run out the clock if they choose to do so, they can run it down so low that they can get Vergura on.
Oh, I'm sure that he has no idea of running out the clock at this particular point. He wants to get in there for a score.
Oh, sure, he'd love 6. He'll take 3.
That's right. He'll take 6 or 7. He'd like 6 or 7, but he will take 3, because 3 means that they're going to have to score 3 times in order to beat him.
I asked Bob Taylor, what range would you like Vergura to try from? He said 35-yarder is well within his reach. Right now with the ball at the 18, the placement at about the 25 would be a 35-yarder. So
well, he's got another timeout he can't call, and he can run a couple plays. How many seconds are left, Walt?
58 seconds. So he can easily get off 3 plays.
Sure.
So anything from here on in is just a little bit of topping for Vergura, since he is supposedly within his range even at this moment.
And they're concentrating so much on Chelensky that it seems to me a fake to Chelensky maybe in a quick snap, slant in or slant out pass, you know, and might be very effective.
Bob Taylor with a world of options at this point.
Yes, it's a good position to be in.
Maselli split left, Ramos to the right. Foucher still has it, and Foucher is going to get out of bounds, and he may, and he does, I believe, have a first down.
There's Severe, and there's Severe in its most effective state, you know. Fake inside, a reverse spin, a fake inside, and cornerback went for the pitch out man, which is what he has to do, and Foucher turned it upfield.
Small again with the tackle. He has also had a big day in terms of number of tackles, which I'm sure John Wagner did not want, since that means he's had to make too many. 1st and goal, Chelensky to the 5. 47 seconds to go. Brearley will huddle up quickly. They do have 2 timeouts. As a matter of fact, they will use one.
Well, they've got 1 timeout left, and I know they want to use that 1 timeout if they have to bring their field goal team in. Now, a field goal based on past experience could be as effective as a touchdown. So I know he doesn't want to blow this scoring opportunity.
We'll take a short break at this point in the Section 2 Group 1 Championship, and we'll be right back. 42 seconds remaining in the first half. Bob Taylor and the Brearley Bears in front 14-0. They are at the 6, 2nd and goal.
With 1 timeout left.
Chalensky, no, it's Foucher again. And Foucher is just short. Carpenter and Small combine for the tackle.
They're short, Paul, but they're close enough to where if they give the ball to Chalensky and he leans, takes 2 steps and leans forward, he's going to be in the end zone.
Great fakes by Foucher. Here he comes outside and is just dragged down by Small. Now the other option, there is still plenty of time, 30 seconds to go. They could easily, if Chalensky or whoever they choose does not make it in, they could definitely have enough time to rush the field goal unit on.
Or they can run 1 more play, or they can throw the ball out of bounds.
No, that would be 4th down. It's 3rd down right now, so they don't have that luxury.
Right.
So they must either score, or if they don't score, either rush the unit on, or Bill.
Yes, I see. It's 3rd down.
Or Bill maybe even try 2 shots at the end zone. But that is up to whatever happens here on 3rd and goal from inside the 1.
He's going to give it 2 shots unless he gets penalized or something happens like to that effect.
Norris, touchdown. Jeff Norris, a senior fullback, scores his 5th touchdown of the year, and it is a 20-0 ball game.
Seems to be a repeat of what happened last year.
There's Norris, virtually untouched. And Vigora makes it 21. 28 seconds left in the half. Brearley 21. Roselle Park nothing.
And most certainly Roselle Park has its work cut out for it. Not an impossible task, but it's tough from here on in. Especially a team that's used to running with the football and keeping it on the ground.
And I would guarantee you one of the first things Bob Taylor will say when he heads into the locker room is something he's told me he tells every team that's ahead going to the 2nd half. Boys, back in 1977, I was coaching against this real old guy named Bill Horry. We had those Glen Ridge Ridgers in our pockets, 13-0, and they went home with the rings. And that, I'm sure, will be among the things Bob Taylor will mention in the halftime locker room.
Except that there were no rings. There were lots of pats on the back, but no rings.
Smile on Bob Taylor's face.
He's done everything that he said he was going to do.
Vigora kicks a low kick. It goes out of bounds, and it will be choice, and more than likely will be a re-kick. Time did not move, so we still have 28 seconds remaining. And Roselle Park does elect to have Vigora kick it again. And it's pretty obvious he will do probably the same thing. Send the low line drive, much harder to return, or at least set up for the return. (21-0). Brearley in front, 7 first quarter points, 2 touchdowns here in the 2nd quarter. Chalensky with 2 TDs, Norris with 1, Vigora with all 3 placements. A low kick hits the front man. Loose football. And the Bears believe they have it, and they do. And it is Jeff Norris who just scored the touchdown, coming up with the loose football. And when things are falling your way,
That's right.
Everything's going your way.
Well, I think he'll just run out the clock.
I'm
I
sure
don't think he'll look to score now.
I'm sure Foucher will just kneel down, and that will end the first half unless Roselle Park wants to call a timeout. Brearley again has no timeouts left.
They're in their twin backs. They're going to
pitch back to Chelensky. He's going to look to throw. He's looking for Foucher, who just can't get it. That is the end of the first half of play. The Brearley Bears leading 21-0, and we'll be back with our halftime show in a moment.
When you're planning...
Welcome back to Herm Shaw Field in Roselle Park. In just a moment, we'll be enjoying the Roselle Park High School Marching Band and their halftime presentation here at the North Jersey Section 2 Group 1 State Championship. The Brearley Bears out in front by a score of 21-0. As we are at the halfway point in this state championship game, Brearley, the defending sectional champs, defeating Roselle Park last season. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, we present the Roselle Park High School Marching Band. Brearley 9 first downs to 1, 161 yards on the ground to only 29 for Roselle Park. Passing yards somewhat negligible for both teams, 171 total yards for the Bears, 32 offensive plays for Brearley as opposed to 17 for Roselle Park. Brearley went out in front on Chelensky's 2-yard score at the 6:15 mark of the first quarter, Vergura adding the point. In the second quarter, Chelensky again scoring, this time from the 1. That came at 5:28. And exactly 5 minutes later, Norris scored from the 1. Vergura adding the 21st point, and that's where we stand right now, 21-0.
Once again, Roselle Park at this particular point in the ball game needs a big play. They need a hero. They need somebody to do something special to get back in the ball game. They haven't had that big play. They've had 1 first down all game, and that certainly doesn't do a whole lot for your confidence.
Average yard per play, Brearley 5 yards per play, which means on second down they are making a first down. Roselle Park only 1.9 yards per play. Mike Small will kick it away, and the second half is underway. Kick goes towards the left sideline, and it will be played there by Brearley and down at the 25, and that's where the Bears will start from on their first possession of the second half. 21-0 is our score at this moment. The Brearley Bears start a great position all day long. They started their first possession at Roselle Park's 46, got a touchdown out of that. Their worst possession was starting at the 27 when they had to punt.
There's McCaffrey in on the stop on the kickoff.
And then Brearley had a few more punts before scoring their 2 touchdowns. Chelensky still moving, picks up the knees. He's moving outside, stiff arms, Small, and finally is forced out near the 50-yard line. And with that, Mike Chelensky, I believe, has now crossed the 1,000-yard mark for the season. He had 991 coming into the second half, and with this carry, he breaks the 1,000-yard mark in this his junior year.
A simple dive play, Paul, off the veer. And you know, it really doesn't make any difference what offense the Bears would be running from right now. they're dominating and just about whatever they want to do. They're twins now.
Flag on the play. The ball now spotted at the 46. Offsides, defense, encroachment. By the way, that was a 21-yard carry for Chelensky on first down.
On a simple dive play.
Now in Panther territory, 1st and 5.
Technically, I would say that Roselle Park technically is discombobulated.
There's Norris over the top for about 3. That's one of those technical coaching terms.
Right, discombobulated. Second down on another dive play by Norris, the fullback. Once again, out of the Veer offense, out of the Twins. A lot of spirit up in the stands. It's too bad some of that spirit doesn't project itself on the field.
Second down, roll out right. Foucher will slip and fall. You can see some light colored dirt on the middle of the field. That is actually what is commonly referred to as quick dry. That was being put out on the field by the Roselle Park maintenance staff during the half to hopefully soak up some of that moisture in the middle of the field. Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Bears. There you see the lighter colored dirt, for lack of a better term, on the field. There's actually a quick dry that was put down.
High formation, slot left.
Chelensky
And
still
up to
moving.
Chelensky, and he's got the first down.
He was hit right near the line of scrimmage. He bounced off that tackle and just kept going forward. Watch how strong he runs.
You just don't stop him up around the chest. There's no way he's going to stop. He gets hit right up in the upper body, and he just brushes it off, much as you would brush off a flea.
He is tough to tackle up top.
You know, he's got good quick speed, too. He gets off the ball pretty good.
1st and 10 from the 41. Foucher tucks it inside. Foucher still moving, and Small is the last man who had a shot at him. Small stops him at the 27.
Well, no question about the fact that Chelensky's fake helped him a lot, but he did a lot of that on his own that time.
Foucher had come into the game with 66 carries for 450 yards. And Foucher is having a fine day on the ground also.
You know, those two boys are back next year, both Foucher and Chelensky.
Both juniors.
It's a nice place to start.
Start with your quarterback and your best running back.
And now they're in the eyes, slot right.
Chelensky. And a flag thrown in. There was a clip.
No, I think it was a late hit.
A late hit, but I think on the offense. We have a clip. That's the call.
Oh, clip on the other.
Yeah, Miller came in after the play was over and hit one of the defenders in the back. Here you might see it. There Chelensky's about to go down. Here comes McCaffrey, and he is hit by Miller.
Yeah, he never did get it the right angle.
So a lot of real estate lost on that play.
Roselle Park will take it however they can.
Back to the 44.
I don't see a hoop and hollering taking place on that Roselle Park team, you know.
Now remember,
they're down 3 touchdowns. They got to get back in this ball game.
First game was only a 10-7 game.
Right. They can play with them. I don't know why they've given up so quick.
Chelensky breaks it, still on his feet, cuts left. Chelensky still moving, and finally he is inside the 20.
And I believe he got the first down.
What a marvelous running back. And what a great individual run.
Right. Now he gets a little room, stumbles, good athlete, gets back on his feet, avoids a tackle here.
Gets another block.
Good speed now, and begins to outrun people and gets caught from behind.
A first down for the Bears. Chelensky today, 131 yards, 19 carries, almost 7 yards a pop, and 2 touchdowns at this moment. Timeout called for by Brearley.
There's to be a timeout for the Bears.
And when you have a timeout called this early in a half, you get the feeling that the Bears are thinking one more and we've got the win.
Absolutely, and it's all sewed up.
If they want to be so careful as to score on this possession, and they certainly are well within range now, it is possible that they are saying one more and we've got this one. Brearley defeated Roselle Park 2 times last season, once in the regular season, 20-3, and 35-6 was the final score in last year's Group 1 final.
But in October, with their star player, with Mirabella only playing 1/4 of the game, Roselle Park was able to beat Brearley.
By a 10-7 score. Norris dropped by Lonecker.
Or they're getting 5 yards on simple dive plays, you know, and everybody knows it's coming. And I get the feeling that, unfortunately, Roselle Park has kind of packed it in.
Second down. The ball just about the 13-yard line. Norris.
Oh, no, they haven't packed it in. There's some kids still trying.
Mike Heller with the tackle. Heller's a junior. He'll be back next year. Speaking of players coming back. Official timeout as Norris is shaken up on the play.
He's a junior, and he's a good offensive guard, too, that Heller. I watched him a little bit.
Bob Taylor talking with Jeff Norris. And that left leg might have just cramped up.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like he's squeezing the calf muscle.
And that appears to be the problem.
Back. That's what theoretically they tell you to do when you get a cramp. I've never found anything that works except a little rest.
On the day, Brearley 239 yards on the ground. Norris limping his way off. And it appears that he should be back in the ball game once that cramp leaves him.
Third down, you know. Third down, if they don't get the first down on this down, why, you can expect a field goal. Certainly within his range.
Joe Capizano is now in the backfield along with Chelensky. Foucher dives forward. Heller hit him quickly. Foucher's going to be close to a first down, and we may even get a measurement.
About a yard and a half yard away.
Mike Heller's brother John was a two-way tackle for this Panther club. I believe that was last season. Gary Foucher, he's also nearing the 100-yard mark rushing, and it is the fact that he has gotten so much yardage that has really been a big factor in this ball game. They are not allowing Roselle Park to key on Chelensky. Short of a first down, it's fourth
Chelensky
and
is
about
up
a
in
yard.
the fullback position now. He's not the last man. He's up in the fullback position, but he's not getting the ball. He's leading.
Capizano dives forward. Midichone hit him.
Close. It's going to be close.
Earlier in the year, Capizano was starting, and they used the I formation of Chelensky forward and Capizano back. But now when Norris came into the ball game, Norris has gone to the front position. Chelensky is the tailback.
But that particular play, Chelensky was in the up position. He was in a fullback position.
Here comes the measurement. And Roselle Park football. So a long drive for the Brearley Bears expires on downs. But to their benefit, the 10-play drive ends at the Roselle Park 9-yard line. 7 minutes, 9 seconds remain in the third quarter, and Roselle Park has a long way to go on this possession. And remember, they need 3 to tie.
And remember, they don't throw the ball more than 4 or 5 times a ball game. So.
But they may now. Here comes Scribano looking left, and he's got Small. Small avoids a tackle, gets about 9 on the play. Mike Small, the leading receiver on this Roselle Park team, came into the game with 6 receptions.
They're going to have to do a lot more of that. They're going to have to throw. They're going to have to do things differently. They're not going. They're going to have to get away from their basic offense a little bit if they want to get back in a ball game.
And we will get another measurement.
Coaches don't like to do that.
Inches short, Gene Mirabella showing the coaching staff. Many of the names we're mentioning for Roselle Park today, Dennis McCaffrey, Gene Mirabella, Len Zanario, among others, are fine baseball players. And last year under Jack Shaw, they went to the Group 1 championship game. You saw that game on TV3. That was a loss to Florence. They're all back come the spring season. Scribano looking left, has Small. Small pitches it back to Carpenter. Carpenter is going to take this one all the way.
Great play, the old hook and ladder play, Paul.
It covers 81 yards. Scribano to Small to Carpenter.
The old hook and ladder. They've been running that play as long as they've been playing football. That should give that club a little bit of a lift.
Here's another look at it. Steve Scribano to Mike Small.
Good catch. And a pitch.
Carpenter just took it from there. Here's the extra point by Small. And it is good. Tailing off left, but he does just hook it inside the post. And it is 21-7. Phil Carpenter.
Six.
7. Kick was good. The play again covers 81 yards. Scribano to Small to Carpenter. And for Mike Small, he's involved in his second strange touchdown of the year. He picked up a loose fumble. Watch this pass. And that pass might have even been deflected by Miller.
Good pass. Good pitch. And a great run.
Small earlier in the year came upon a loose football and carried it in for a touchdown. This time he's on the middle of the pass from Scribano to Carpenter. And Carpenter just put on the speed and no one was going to catch Phil Carpenter.
Great call, Coach. Great call, Johnny.
The Panthers are alive.
Second and inches. That was a great call.
Small set to give it away. Instead, McCaffrey will kick. It's an onside kick attempt. Fielded and downed by Brearley.
Smart. He's not used to handling the ball, so I try to advance it a yard or two. Just down it right there. Now let's see what this does for the Roselle Park spirit. Kids are jumping up and down on the sideline now. Fans have never stopped jumping up and down. Let's see what it does to that interior line. Let's see if it pumps them up a little bit. Back in the twin backfield.
From their own 37. Norris comes out to about the 44. A gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, closer to 7, and that's good yardage for first down play. Simple dive play.
Chalensky, first down into Roselle Park territory.
Time he hits that line of scrimmage, he's going full speed. Did you notice that, ball?
Yes, he does get a very quick start.
On his second, third step, he's going full speed. And when you hit him, why, you're going to have to hit him low at that point or get him before he gets started.
Roselle Park needed only 2 plays to score both passes. It was Scribano to Small to Carpenter for the touchdown. Mike Small adding the 7th point, 21-7. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Foucher still with the football. And finally, Small has to knock him out near the first down marker.
You see that Cholensky is the pitch man, and you're so conscious of not letting him get the ball. That cornerback has got to come and play him man-to-man on the pitch, and that leaves Foucher all by himself inside. He can break it up inside almost any place.
Foucher is now over 100 yards for the day. An excellent day for a pair of juniors, and exactly 107 is his number. 107 yards for Foucher. Norris for a couple. Good to see Norris back in the game. Again, that slight injury before, probably nothing more than a cramp. And this time it is a first down for Brearley.
Brearley wants to use up the clock now. They want to keep the ball on the ground. They're not going to play anymore. I don't think you're going to see any more throwbacks. You're going to see Cholinsky carry the ball a lot. You're going to see him run inside. And I'm sure he's told everybody, now squeeze the ball. Don't give it up. Don't make a mistake. Don't open the door any further.
Movement. Left guard jumped off.
Just a little anxious.
Pascarella went off a count too early.
Not too many penalties this game, and that most certainly is a tribute to the fine coaching that these kids have received. I've seen a lot of football, and I always enjoy coming down here because I know when I do, I'm going to see kids that are well coached. Both teams well coached. Fundamentally, they're sound. When we get them in the North-South game, they're always sound when they come from either of these two schools.
Cholensky got about 5 on the play. Mike Cholensky, when I was speaking with Bob Taylor during the week, Bob said, don't be surprised if he gets 30 carries on Saturday. He is fast approaching that number.
Well, it's foolish not to use him. Most certainly, at this particular point, the most effective ground gainer on the field.
2nd and 12.
And he doesn't look like he's getting any tired or any more tired.
Fake. Foucher still with it. Foucher dragged down by Mike Small.
I don't think he's got the first down. Very close.
Maybe 5 on the play.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't see the sticks.
3:12 left in the third quarter. It'll actually be about 3rd and 7 for Brearley. And they are in 4-down territory.
Maybe not. May want to pin him back.
Cholensky gets to about the 30. It'll be about 4th and 3 coming up for Brearley.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to kick it. No.
Well, here comes Randy Callancy in with a new play from the sideline. Bob Taylor electing to go. At worst, he would give up the ball and Roselle Park would have to go 70 yards. From the eye. Cholensky.
He's got it.
Loose football. Miller, no, we've got a dead ball. We may get a measurement, but I believe you're right, Bill. It won't be necessary. It's going to be a first down for Brearley.
It's close, but I think he's got it.
He needed to get to the 26.
He needed 3 and he got 4.
There the ball pops loose, but already Cholensky was down. And at the 26-yard line, it is a 1st and 10 for the Brearley Bears. 15th first down for Brearley.
Twins in the backfield.
Cholensky again. turning up some dirt as he dives forward. 1:51 left in the third quarter.
A simple old dive play has been so effective for him today. The first part of the veer, just a dive play. People don't see it too often anymore, and that's why it's effective. They're used to seeing people run from the tailback.
Chelensky, 24 carries this afternoon. Again, we think he probably will get 30 at least on the day. Boucher faked it this time, and this time
he didn't fool him.
Nope. Dave Hartzler stayed in and wrapped him up.
And Paul, it's hard to score unless you have the football, and they've kept the football, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes on this last drive.
5 minutes and 10 seconds, and the clock is still moving on this particular drive. So even if they come up empty, they've at least accomplished one of their goals in that they've run out the clock. 3rd and 9.
They got twins out to the right, and I don't know why. They're not respecting them as twins.
Boucher back to Chelensky, and he's right away dropped in the open field by Gene Mirabella.
Well, he never did get turned upfield. Mirabella made a good tackle. Wouldn't let him turn upfield. Wouldn't let him get his shoulder squared away. If he got his shoulder squared away, it would have been a collision.
The lateral to Chelensky. And Mirabella with the leg tackle. Fourth down, 17.
And he still doesn't want to put him in a hole. Well, they're what, on the 30-yard line?
And we may not even get off the play. We don't. The third quarter has come to a close. It is Brearley 21, Roselle Park 7. We'll be back with the final quarter in a moment. Back to Herm Shaw Field, 21-7 our score. Brearley doing all of their scoring in the first half. Roselle Park countered with that 81-yard hook and ladder play here in the third quarter. Brearley with the football, 4th and 17, and now Miller is back to punt. The snap does go to Miller. He kicks it towards the left sideline, and it will die inside the 20, and actually will be at about the 14-yard line.
Not a bad kick. Not a bad kick. Now look at it this way, Paul. Roselle Park won the third quarter 7-0. If they can win the third quarter 14-0, why, we've got a tie ball game. We've got that tie we were talking about.
Brearley ran 21 plays in the third quarter, Bill.
Yeah,
Roselle Park only 2. One of those, actually, they were both passes, and one of those went for the 81-yard touchdown. From the 14, it's 1st and 10. Mirabella in motion. Scribano took it himself, maybe got a yard.
I think it was a busted play. I don't think that quarterback meant to keep it up the middle.
Here's a look at it. Yeah, I think he might have been looking for the fullback.
Yeah. Missed the handoff and kept the ball himself.
Scribano came in to relieve John Cunningham in the first quarter and has been the Roselle Park quarterback since then.
Don't be surprised if they throw the ball now. I don't see any wide receivers.
Movement, right side. I believe Midichone jumped. It'll cost Roselle Park 5. Watch the very left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, left guard's pulling away.
And Midichone just outside of our view jumped over. Brearley 48 times on the ground today. Roselle Park, as you can see, has only had 20 offensive plays. Fumble on the snap. And that is now Brearley football. Mike Chelensky, who seems to attract the football on offense, attracts it just as much on defense. Chelensky with his, I believe, his first fumble recovery of the year. There, the bobble on the snap, and here will come Mike into the picture.
This could be the end of the ball game right now.
From the 9.
Unless something happens.
1st and goal. Chelensky to about the 5.
Good gain on the play. He's tough to stop when he gets started and gets his body leaning forward. Gets that big 6'4" body at about a 45-degree angle, and there are no legs to see. All you see are chest and helmet coming at you. He's tough to stop.
Well, Bill, all I hope is that he puts on a little weight and grows a little during his senior year. I mean, at 6'4", 225, he's a bit scrawny. Unbelievable size for a junior.
I'm sure he'll get love in videos.
He'll fight his way forward on this play to about the 2. And the recruiters from all across the nation will be knocking on the Chelensky door next year.
He'll be about as big as that kid from Passaic that's playing at Notre Dame now. He's taller than he is right now.
Quiet on the near sideline.
Yeah, it's hard to get enthused when you're down, you know, and you.
3rd and goal from the 3.
There are kids in there trying. They're trying hard.
Chelensky, and he's in. His 3rd touchdown of the day, 13th on the season, and that could be the ball game. It's 27-7 with 9:18 remaining.
You know, he learns to run that way every time with his body leaned at about a 45-degree angle, like he ran the last 2-3 times. He's going to be virtually impossible to stop because he gets off the ball so quick. Second step, he's going full blast.
Vagora adds the 28 points. For Mike Vagora, he now has 20 extra points on the year. This is Mike Chelensky, and that is just power.
His body lean is such that, you know, he's got so much power coming at you. 6'4", 215 pounds, and it's close to the ground. When he's standing straight up, you got a target to run at, you know. But when he's leaning like that, he's tough to hit.
Tough to stop. Mike Chelensky.
Of course, the people up front are doing a good job, too. You can't...
He's got some big boys up front, too.
And they're firing out. They're beating the Roselle Park kids off the ball.
Rob Canterman is 210. Dom Pasquarello 180. Mike McCoy, the center, is 210. Elio Siragusa, a sophomore, goes 195. And Brett Hubbinger, the right tackle, is 235.
And you notice he runs an awful lot behind that Hubbinger boy, doesn't he?
And that is a good place to try to hide somebody who's 6'4" behind a 6'5" player.
Right.
Carpenter will take it at the 12. Carpenter finds a big hole in the middle. Streaking down the left side, Capizano has a shot at him. And Capizano finally brings him down at the 23-yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
That's going to be a face mask against Capizano. That's going to be a face mask. Now, whether it's 5 or 15 depends on the official. It could very well be a 15-yard face mask.
Here's a look at it on the replay. Watch the stiff arm by Carpenter. And then Capizano grabs some face masks. Actually, they each have a pretty good grab of face masks.
That's a big one. That's a big one. That was a 15-yarder.
Down to the 11. And again, it is a big play. You said they're looking for a big play man. So far, it has been Carpenter.
Carpenter's got good speed, hasn't he?
He does. Once he broke into the second, into open field there, he had a good shot to break it. Capizano just fought him off from the 11. Scribano looking left, puts it up, and it's incomplete. Looking for Carpenter.
You know, once again, getting very technical on the ball. I think what they need now is a good old hipper-dipper. Well, because the offensive player on it, you know, is very rarely called for face. He's stiff-arming. He just happened to stiff-arm at the other fella's face.
And there Capizano grabs the face mask.
Right, Capizano grabbed the face. You don't see that because of the angle of the film. You see with his head bob up and down?
Second from the 11. Mirabella went to the right.
Fella throws the ball pretty well and threw it to his wide out the last time. Threw it very well and a quick out. I don't know why they don't come back to that pretty soon. He split to the side, number.
Tokarski now in the backfield with Mirabella. Scribano rolling left.
There he is. He's looking for him.
Intercepted. Joe Capizano intercepts it at about the 1.
He made that so obvious, didn't he?
And Capizano feels he had to make up for the face mask call, and he did it with the interception. A lot of defenders on the receiving end of this one.
Right.
And there Capizano steps in front of Mike Small.
Looks like he had only one receiver that time, and he was destined to throw it to him no matter what.
So the Bears will start it up from their own 14.
Look for them to keep the ball on the ground, and look for them to run their big back. And there he goes.
Only the second turnover of today's game. Both belong to Brearley. 7:35 to go in the North 2 Group 1 Championship.
Brearley'd like to use about 5 or 6 on this series if they can.
Brearley knocked New Providence out of the playoffs 2 weeks ago in a thrilling 5 overtime game. The final scored 19-16, but all those points were scored in overtime. Roselle Park knocked out Mountain Lakes in the first overtime, 10-7 on a small field goal. Foucher outside. He's got the first down, and Foucher is finally pushed out.
He's been a force. He's been as much a force as Jelinski has been a force for that Brearley team. Faking is excellent.
124 yards for Gary Foucher on 17 carries.
Really, you know, it wouldn't make any difference. They really don't need the I formation. I'm sure it was something that Bobby Taylor put in because he felt like he wanted to use Jelinski a little more effectively, but no matter where you use him, he's effective. He's effective from the setback position. He's effective from the tailback position. He's effective from the fullback position.
Flag for delay of game. Exactly 7 minutes left in the ball game. By the way, before I forget, a very quick thank you to John Lyle, the president of the Roselle Park Quarterback Club, and indeed the entire quarterback club, for refreshments served to the entire TV3 crew earlier in the day. Appreciate their kindness.
These facilities are nice, aren't they?
Home field here for the Panthers, Hermshaw Field. Always a pleasure to come to Roselle Park.
Nice people on both sides of the ball, Paul.
Exactly.
These are good people, and their children reflect the fact that they are good people.
I should mention Bill McNeese, the athletic director here at Roselle Park, his counterpart at Brearley, Tom Santaguida. We thank them for their assistance today, and naturally Bob Taylor and John Wagner, two outstanding coaches.
Yeah, and outstanding people.
Jelinski with the call. He got a couple yards. It'll be third and about 13 to go for Brearley, but their main concern right now, Bill, is to run that ball between the sidelines.
Right, eat up some time.
Even if they do have to give the ball away on a punt.
Those are the kind of coaches. You you'd like for your children to be playing for, because you know they're going to do nothing but help them. They're the old-fashioned, dedicated people. They're interested in people. They're interested in kids. They get my tip of the hat, and I hope everyone else's.
Foucher keeps it. He'll go forward for a few yards. And you know what? I think the players have fun.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're excited this week. I visited both practice sessions, and I was so pleased to see these kids really having fun. You know, they're playing and having a good time. Coaches having a good time also.
Fourth down,
That's
about
what the game's all about, having a good time.
Miller will kick it away for the Bears. Scott is the brother of Ed Miller, who was an outstanding lineman here at Brearley a few seasons ago.
I remember him.
Ed's now at Pitt, along with Tony Siragusa.
The kid's a good kicker.
Miller gets it up.
One of his better kicks, but I've seen him kick in practice, and he kicks well.
McCaffrey fields it on one hop, and he's forced out of bounds at the 42.
These are small schools, but they don't hit like small schools people, do they? They hit like big schools people, if there's such a thing. They hit like big people.
On the far sidelines, there's a look at Elio Siragusa, who is the sophomore younger brother of Tony Siragusa. Tony is also at Pitt. The Brearley connection to Pittsburgh. Miller and Siragusa. 315 yards rushing. Not total yards, but yards rushing for Brearley today. Scribano, quick out to Small. Flag on the play. And it might have gone on Lonecker for a clip. That's exactly the call. Clipping on Lonecker as he tried to follow up the completion to Small. Here's a look at it.
Just couldn't stop. Was looking to block and couldn't stop.
There it is.
Yeah. It's one you don't like to see happen, but you can understand it. It's not a foul of omission. It's an aggressive foul. Kid wanted to do something. He wanted to let his split end run.
Not too much these two teams didn't know about each other.
No.
They're neighboring towns. Some of the kids from Brearley work in Kenilworth. Some of the kids in Roselle Park work in Kenilworth and Garwood. They know each other. Scribano forced out of the pocket. His pass is knocked away. It actually hit Hubbinger in the chest, and he knocked it down.
Wouldn't surprise me none if they had the same girlfriends too, Paul.
A lot known amongst these two teams, and John Wagner pointed out to me this morning. He said there's really not a hated rivalry among these two teams. He said he watched films of the game earlier this season. He said everybody's helping each other up after the plays. You can even see it here today. There's no bad feelings among the two teams.
Well, once again, and you know, I'm not getting on a soapbox, but that reflects the kind of coaches that are handling these kids.
Canterman with the sack, and Rob Canterman with a bit of a celebration, his 6th sack of the season. 6'3", 210-pound senior, and he just shoots through the line of scrimmage.
It's nice to know that the other team is going to pass, isn't it? Makes your pass rush so much more effective. With the clock ticking away.
Official time 3:36. Rob Canterman.
Well, congratulations to Roselle Park for getting here, you know. They had to win some pretty tough ball games to get here. They won in a...
Canterman again gets into the backfield and drops Scribano. And now the Brearley fans on the far side are beginning to at least let it show. They can pretty much feel victory is imminent.
Pretty safe right now.
There they are.
And I'm glad
the Brearley Rooters.
As you suggest, there's been no bad feelings, you know. No sour grapes. I don't notice any of that.
Under 3 minutes, Carpenter will punt it away. High, booming punt. Kick. Ramos will take it. Ramos will immediately be stopped. Joe Sider making the tackle.
Kids are still playing in there. They're still hitting Roselle Park.
Roselle Park will finish 9-2 on the season.
That's a good record.
The Bears will finish 9-1-1.
It's a little better.
Remember, 1986, the year in review, and certainly one of the things we will review are the state playoffs you're watching right now, coming up on Time In Thursday the 18th at 6:30, Saturday the 20th at 6 o'clock.
You know, those kids from Roselle Park have got to remember that there's so many kids that played high school football in the state of New Jersey this year that never made it to the state finals. So many, and they're one of the few that did, so most certainly they're to be congratulated.
Only 38 teams were playing today. There was a championship game in Parochial A South 2 weeks ago, but only 38 teams were playing for crowns today, and I can guarantee you only 19 will win and 19 will lose.
Right, and they're one of the 38, let's put it that way.
2nd down and 1.
So they're to be commended.
Cholensky. No, it's Foucher again.
You're fooling me. Cholensky creates so much of a crowd. He gets so much attention when he carries the ball, maybe just by virtue of his size. But every time he carries the ball.
And it's a combination of he fakes so well and Foucher hides the ball on his hips so well.
Right, and he's a good runner, Foucher.
Oh, excellent. And he certainly has showed enough speed to turn the corner and beat the defensive end who's trying to contain him.
A little extracurricular at the end of that play, I think. Well, it's a late hit, but I don't know how late it was.
1:32 remaining.
Over anxious hit.
Again, New Providence under their coach Frank Batone as the fans start to leave Hermshaw Field. New Providence was the Valley Division champions of the Mountain Valley Conference by virtue of tying Brearley and beating Roselle Park. Roselle Park finished 2nd by virtue of 1 loss and by defeating Brearley. Brearley with a loss and a tie in the conference, but Brearley will capture the Group 1 crown for the 2nd consecutive year, and for Brearley it will be their 3rd state championship under Bob Taylor.
And that's certainly a great achievement, certainly an outstanding achievement for Bobby Taylor.
Tough way to lose on the Roselle Park sideline. This one will hurt for a few days, and then they'll look back on a 9-2 season and they'll think about it.
And some of the great wins, the win against Roselle and the win against Mountain Lakes, they're very positive things.
On the other side, of course, nothing but happiness and smiles, and it's certainly deserved. It's been a long season.
That's what the game's all about. It's excitement.
They can finally let it all out. And for most of these players, these being Group 1 schools, and you are seeing very good athletes out here, they really don't have time to think about a loss or a win. They've got to get ready for winter sports.
Yeah, some of these fellas are on a basketball team, I know, and those basketball coaches are raring to go.
And wrestling. Brearley in the playoffs in '77. Remember, they lost to Glen Ridge in a Group 1 final. In '81, they beat Roselle. '85, beating Roselle Park. And, well, it'll be official in 1 minute and 16 seconds, but we can pretty much with confidence say that in 1986, they beat Roselle Park in the Group 1 final. Bob Taylor out on the field looking over a shaken up player. I believe that might be Lyons. Or it is, I think it's Sam Samos. Sam, a senior, getting some playing time. 1:16 officially left in the ball game, and again our thanks to everyone involved in today's game for their assistance, especially everyone in charge of the facility here at Roselle Park for allowing us to come in with our cameras and broadcast this game for you.
Also would like to remind you that the Roselle Park High School is content
And we do hope that you all stay tuned because, as we just mentioned a moment ago, the winter season will be starting up soon, and TV3 will provide coverage of boys and girls basketball, wrestling, and hockey from now through March.
Oh, that boy will be all right. He'll be playing basketball or wrestling. He's fine.
He'll be able to go to the party tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure. Funny how those hurts don't hurt so much when you win. Well, I'll be very surprised now if Brearley doesn't just try to run out the clock. And happy to win the game.
At the end of the ball game, we'll go down on the field. We'll speak with Bob Taylor and whoever else happens to join us.
All right.
Flags on the play before the snap.
Got a new tailback in there, number 15. Got some new personnel in there right now.
Getting some, probably some seniors.
Sure.
Get some playing time, or maybe some underclassmen. Have them get a little taste of state championship football.
Yeah, they may be back next year. Second and 13 with 56 seconds to play.
John Wagner on the near sideline.
Yeah, he's
an outstanding season for the Panthers, 9-2. For John Wagner, that represents the most wins for him in his 6 seasons at Roselle Park.
I mentioned this before, Paul. You know, they're a small school, and Roselle Park's a small school, but they don't hit like small school people. They hit big, you know.
Yeah, they have better attendance than most small schools on the team.
They got a lot more attendance than some of the bigger schools.
2 good programs here.
Right.
Time winding down. This will probably be the last play of the Section 2 Group 1 final.
Administrators of both these schools have a lot to be proud of.
Voucher for a couple. And the Brearley fans will count down the final 2 seconds. And the Brearley Bears has successfully defended their North Jersey Section 2 Group 1 crown by defeating Roselle Park today. Our final score, as Bob Taylor and John Wagner shake hands: Brearley 28, Roselle Park 7. The Brearley Bears are your state champions in North 2 Group 1. And we'll be back on the field with our post-game show in a moment.
Isn't it good to see?
7, the final score. The Brearley Bears defend their North Jersey. We do want to talk to a couple of the players who contributed to the ball game today. Senior co-captain Mike McCoy. Mike, obviously a big game for all the seniors specifically. Let's talk about that group first, because it was the last game of your careers.
Well, the coaches influenced us a lot. They kept talking about it, and they kept reminding us that this was the last time we'd be out here, and we all wanted to go out with a big win. So I think we all pulled together and really came through.
Coach also said that you were probably Roselle Park's biggest rooters once they beat you earlier in the season, because you did want a chance at them again in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been too nice if we came here and won this and we had their loss unavenged on the schedule.
Mike, it seems that defensively, let's talk that way, there was not too much they did that surprised you except for the one hook and ladder pass. You pretty much defensively seemed that you knew what they were going to do.
Well, we've seen their offense so many times. I mean, they're right next door to us, and the coaches prepared a really great game plan for us. So we were pretty much sound and everywhere. They had nowhere to run.
Mike, thanks very much for coming by. Rob Canterman. Rob, offensive line, did a super job today. Mike Chalensky broke the 1,000-yard mark, but the coach wanted to make sure that the line knew it also. It was important for the line that Chalensky got that 1,000 yards?
You bet. That's our goal. We really wanted both our back to get us 1,000 yards this year, but one's enough, I guess. It got us to state championship, and we're happy.
And in addition to 100 yards, over 100 yards by Chalensky today, over 100 yards by Foucher. A tough play for them to read. Foucher faked so well to Chalensky and then ran on his own. Did that help in that then they couldn't key on Mike Chalensky?
Oh, really, yes. Because at the beginning of the year, we weren't really faking too well, and that was taking a lot away from our offense. But the last couple of weeks, they've been doing a great job faking, and Gary on the keepers is a big play for us now.
Mike told us how important this win was to the seniors. What did the seniors have to say to the underclassmen to get them ready to play today's ball game?
Well, we really didn't have to say that much. We got a great group of underclassmen here, and they get us up a lot of times on the field when we're tired and going two ways. So we really didn't have to do that much. We got a good group here.
Rob, thanks very much for coming by. Congratulations. Mike Chelensky. Mike, come on in here. Mike, congratulations on 1,000 yards on the day, and obviously 1,000 yards on the season, but almost 1,000 on the day. You had over 160. Obviously, that was one of the big goals for you as the season began.
Yeah, well, beginning of the year started, and I kind of wanted to break it, and our line did a super job this game, and Jeff Norris came in as a blocking back, and he did real good.
Was there anything special that the team put in offensively that was different from the first time you played Roselle Park?
Yeah, well, we switched to an I. They had me running a tailback like I used to a while ago. And then it worked pretty good. It's been working good.
Mike, obviously for the seniors this one's over, but for you and the other underclassmen, there's the chance to defend the crown once again. And even though the season won't start for another 9 months, you're probably in the back of your mind thinking of that already.
Yeah, well, we hope to do it again. It's fun. I like it, so.
Mike, thanks very much. Congratulations on a big game today. Bob Taylor, congratulations, first of all, on defending your state crown in Group 1.
Well, we found throughout the season it wasn't going to be easy to defend the title. Everybody was up for us. Teams played over their head against us, and it was a tremendous challenge for our guys to come back and play well when we had to play well. We were 3-1-1, and we were in trouble. And we got together, and we pulled very, very close as a family, the way our program is meant to pull. And we had to prove to some people that they should respect us, even though we didn't have the great record. And the other key was we got Matt Laughlin off this game, got you over here, and we're back on stride with TV3.
One thing I would like to point out is that when I spoke with you during the week, you had so much confidence that the team would win, and also, surprisingly, confidence that you would score a lot. Almost everyone else in the state said this was going 5 overtimes at 0-0. Why did you think that not only would the team win, but that you'd score?
I think we always give our kids the credit because they do the job on the field, but our coaching staff is awful tough to match when it comes to preparing a game plan. And we felt that Park might be overconfident because we played awful poorly against them the first time. And I think that hurt them. We played badly, and we knew we could play a whole lot better. And our coaches knew it, and our guys knew it, and that's the difference.
Quick comment about Roselle Park, a super team that didn't have a good day today, but obviously finishing 9-2, deserved as much to be in this final as did the Brearley Bears.
Yeah, very similar to Coach Horry's team in 1977 that beat us in the finals. A lot of character, a lot of guts, guys playing where they really shouldn't be. Just guys with a lot of heart, and we knew that you'd have to really go after them physically to take it away from them. I give them a lot of credit. But I got to stand by these guys because they're the state champs.
And Bob, a lot of credit to you and to the rest of your staff, but mostly to the fellas who had to get dirty on this mud today, all the players for the Brearley Bears. Fellas, congratulations.
Thank you.
The Brearley Bears, the state champions. Somewhere in here I'll find Bill Horry. And Bill, if we can, we'll wrap things up today. Again, our final score, Brearley a winner today, 28-7. And Bill, it just was a matter of what we expected in this ball game today. Great running by both teams, but the fact that Brearley just executed everything so well.
Yeah, they deserve to win. There's little more that can be said now. They're a great football team. They're coached by great people, and they deserve all the accolades, and hope they have a good time tonight. I know they will.
All right, the Brearley Bears, again, the state champions. For Bill Horry, I'm Paul Spahala. We thank you all for being with us. And again, the final score in today's North Jersey Section 2 Group 1 final, Brearley 28, Roselle Park 7. Brearley Bears are again the state champions. Goodbye, everyone. Today's game has been brought to you by Montclair Bloomfield Ford, your key to better value. And by the Westwood, the new kid on the block with 24 years experience. And by Riverside Savings, serving New Jersey and the nation for 100 years. And by Jersey City State College. Experience cooperative education at Jersey City State College.